This is Beyond Mount Rushmore, the history you never really knew you needed, or something like that.
Yeah, I think you got it right this time.
Hey, I'm Jeff Hickoxton. This is our self-proclaimed presidential historian, Stan Nawalonic.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Stan.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Tell me what we're talking about.
I'll tell you. You, since we started this thing, kept saying we should do something on Zachary Taylor.
I did.
And I said, well, we can do that. It's an interesting story in there.
Well, let's dig into this. Let's talk about the president.
Yeah, and that's another thing I want to address with this. We're going to talk about, do a little background on Zachary Taylor. But the whole point of Beyond Mount Rushmore is the story.
Correct.
But in order to do a story, you have to tell a little bit about the person you're telling the story about.
Right. We got to build the foundation on Zachary Taylor.
Our 12th president.
Yeah, who has a fort named after him in the Keys.
Yep. Matter of fact, I toured that fort years ago.
Always wanted to go, haven't gone yet.
With a Key West legend who's long since passed away, Shine Forbes.
Okay.
Who was a old black man and had the distinction of the last living person to spar with Ernest Hemingway. Huh. And we met him when we were doing a show down there and became friends. We'd go specifically down to see Shine, and he told us one day, I'm going to take you to Fort Zachary Taylor.
That's cool.
And that's how I visited it.
Hey.
Zachary Taylor served as president for a very short period of time, our 12th president, March 4th, 1849, until his death, July 9th, 1850. He was born in Barberville, Virginia.
Oh.
November 24th, 1784, but his family quickly moved to Louisville, Kentucky.
I thought he was from Louisville.
Taylor was a descendant of Elder William Brewster, a Pilgrim leader at the Plymouth colony and a member of the Mayflower.
One of the first.
Yep.
Wow.
He had no formal education. We talked in a previous episode about Harry Truman.
Right.
You know, he got through high school and then failed miserably.
A lot.
But Zachary Taylor, no formal education to speak of because Kentucky's education system was just taking shape when he was young. And it was his mother that taught him how to read and write.
Huh. Good going, Mom.
Yeah. After serving briefly in the Kentucky militia in 1806, Taylor joined the United States Army on May 3rd, 1808, receiving a commission from President Thomas Jefferson.
Really?
Yep. He became a first lieutenant of the Kentuckian 7th Infantry Regiment.
Uneducated, became an officer.
In June of 1810, he married Peggy Smith. Well, Peggy, she came from a very prominent family in Maryland planters. Now, if you haven't guessed by now, they were strong Southern plantation owners who owned hundreds of slaves.
Yeah.
That deals a lot in our upcoming story as to what may have happened to Zachary Taylor. And I'll explain that in a little bit, but that involves our story.
It does.
They had 6 children.
Okay.
One of whom, their daughter, Sarah Noxie Taylor, married Jefferson Davis.
No kidding. Jefferson Davis, the president of the
Confederacy.
Wow.
She married Jefferson Davis in 1835. She died at the age of 21. From malaria just 3 months after marrying Jefferson Davis.
Wow.
Taylor and his wife, they invested well. You know what? You look at real estate people today, back in the 1800s, he and his wife invested very well in real estate.
Buy.
They purchased land over several states. Taylor and his wife bought a dilapidated cottage in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which they refinished and remodeled shortly before the War of 1812. He also began to purchase a good deal of bank stock in Louisville. He also began to buy land on the Mississippi River in both Louisiana and Mississippi, which proved to be extremely
Wow.
profitable investments for him.
Imagine that on the Mississippi River.
Yep, but he always called Baton Rouge his home.
All right.
He later in life bought the Cypress Grove plantation in Jefferson County, Mississippi, acquiring over 1,800 acres and 81 slaves for $95,000. In 2025 money, that's just over $3 million.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
He quickly moved up the ranks in the Army. Within 2 years, he was a captain.
Yeah, he was a war hero too, right, Stan?
In a lot of wars. He moved up quickly up the ranks. 2 years he was a captain, made brevet brigadier general in 1837, and was a 2-star major general in 1846. And we talk about a war hero. He was involved and was a hero in each of them.
Yeah.
The War of 1812, the Black Hawk War, the Second Seminole War, the Mexican-American War, where he faced off with Santa Anna.
Oh.
He resigned his commission just before he ran for president.
Really?
He was military through and through.
Huh.
And what he wasn't through and through was politics.
No.
You and I were discussing this. He had no knowledge or want of politics.
He didn't even vote, right, Stan?
A president of the United States who never voted.
Did he want to be president?
No.
He didn't.
Nobody knew his political views. He had no political background, never held any office of any kind. He was viewed as independent and never until forced to reveal his political beliefs. Nobody knew what he thought. I don't think he cared, and I don't think he gave it much thought himself.
Right. Yeah.
Which takes us to the presidential election of 1848. As you pointed out, he did not want to run. He had no thoughts. What does this even mean?
Right.
But America wanted a general.
Yeah. And he was popular.
And he was rough and ready.
Yeah.
He was a hero. He turned down several attempts by both the Whigs, who became Republicans, and the Democrats for him to join their party. Multiple times, come run with us on our ticket. And he turned it down. Eventually, he agreed to campaign as a Whig. Here's a guy, Baton Rouge, Louisiana,
right.
Slave owner,
right,
wants to go and agree to join the Whig Party.
Which would be anti-slavery.
Correct.
And he's a slave owner.
Correct. He upset a lot of members of the South and a lot of members of the Democratic Party because he knew with his plantations he had to have a workforce.
Yeah.
But he did not believe in the expansion of slavery. This is what led to the Civil War.
So where it was,
free state, slave state, where it was where it was, and the Southerns are looking at him. How dare you?
Right. Yeah.
And he said, you know what? Leave it alone. We have what we have.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be a Whig. Shocking. Which again, I'm gonna tell you, it led possibly to some shady things that happened to him.
How did he balance that contradiction?
He balanced it because it was an institution in the country at that time.
Okay.
And he realized financially he needed that. He didn't believe in expanding it.
Okay.
And then you had the Democrats who believed in expanding it, but not all, which caused a big problem in the election of 1848. He ran against a split Democratic Party.
Really?
Senator Lewis Cass was the nominee for the Democratic Party, but former President Martin Van Buren ran on the Free Soil Party ticket. They were a coalition of anti-slavery Democrats.
Free soil. I get it now.
And it essentially split the ticket. Think of it today as a Ross Perot coming in and splitting the Republican ticket.
So there were 3 people going for that election in 1848.
Correct. And one of them, a former president.
Martin Van Buren.
It was a narrow vote. It was a narrow election, thanks to Van Buren being in it. And Zachary Taylor won the presidency and enters office on March 4th, 1849.
Congratulations.
And he had a lot on his plate.
What were his biggest challenges?
He had what to do about Mexico,
Okay.
what to do about slavery. The Civil War was coming like a freight train.
Yeah.
He had a lot on his plate.
Sounds like it.
One that was not a major thing on his plate, but it was something that he had to deal with, was funding for the Washington Monument on the Mall in Washington, D.C. They didn't have enough money to build the Washington Monument.
You can see that when you look at the monument.
You are absolutely correct. Next time, if you go to Washington, D.C.,
Yeah.
and you're at the mall and you look at the Washington Monument, different color bricks.
Yep. It's because they had to stop because they ran out of money.
It stopped for like 20 years.
Yeah.
It was halfway done for 20 years.
Yeah.
But this was the first chunk that was being done, and he was trying to raise money to build this to honor our first president.
Right.
Not many wanted to donate for the Washington Monument because it was expensive.
Okay.
They estimated at the time the price tag of the Washington Monument would be $1 million.
Then.
Then.
In the 1800s.
Right.
Wow.
The equivalent of $41 million in 2025. And nobody wanted to donate.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Nobody. Yeah. For 1849, 1850, nobody wanted to donate that money.
Yeah, and the president Washington wasn't dead that long then.
No,
right?
50 years.
Yeah.
But July 4th celebrations.
Woohoo.
July 4th, 1850. Taylor was going to go and lead up the fundraising for the Washington Monument. We're going to have a big party in the mall. Here's where the story gets interesting.
Okay. Do it.
Story goes that he arrived at the mall in Washington, D.C. very hungry. Because, you're there and there are a lot of farmers, a lot of plantations.
Right.
The middle of the summer, all the fruits and vegetables are nice and ripe and ready for sale.
Right? On display. Here we go.
Witnesses say Zachary Taylor just kept crunching away on vegetables. They said he consumed large amounts, nonstop, double-fisted.
Really?
Cucumbers, cabbage, corn. He's just crunching away on the stuff. He's hungry.
He's a hungry man.
And he's sitting there and he's eating all of these vegetables. And then he says to himself and his aides around him,
Yeah.
How about some dessert?
Let's wrap this up. Let's put a bow on this.
All right, geez, I'm full on cucumbers, cabbage, and corn. How about some dessert? Anybody got some cherries? And you know what? I understand him. I love sitting on the sofa and eating a bowl of cherries.
Yeah.
They're tasty.
Yeah.
He ate a lot of them. And in those days, 1850, you couldn't go grab a can of Coca-Cola or some Lipton iced tea or anything. No, he drank unpasteurized iced milk.
Unpasteurized milk in the summer.
Yes.
With cherries.
Yeah. After eating cucumbers, cabbage, and corn. Like nonstop. Yeah. Like nonstop. Here's the guy. Where's Zach? Oh, he's there eating another cucumber like it's going out of style. And now he wants cherries and ice cold unpasteurized milk. So,
Nothing can go wrong here.
and it was extremely hot that day.
I know.
It'd be in Washington, D.C. on the 4th of July. Extremely hot.
Yeah.
So he gets back to the White House full. He had enough to eat. And he's sloshing around with the milk in his gut. And he gets into the White House. It's hot. He said, boy, I'm thirsty. They say that he then consumed multiple glasses of water. A lot of times in the summer in major cities, because of disease, mainly cholera, people used to go out, leave and go to the country because...
We've talked about that in previous episodes.
Yes, because...
the shore.
Yes, for some good sea air.
Yes.
But the cities were ripe with disease because fecal matter, garbage, it was often just dumped in the streets. And Washington, D.C. was no exception. Huh. So the White House's water supply was filthy. It's not like today where you can get water in a bottle or off the tap and it's nice and crystal clear. In a city, it was filthy, and he drank multiple glasses of water too.
Boy.
And that was not good. He gets sick.
Yeah.
Early on, Taylor felt well enough. He could continue doing some work, but he didn't feel good. But a few of his cabinet members and a few other dignitaries also got gastroenteritis.
So they enjoyed the vegetables and milk as well.
So there was a group of people that got sick.
Yeah.
He wasn't the only one. But by the second day, his condition worsened. By the sixth, he's in bad shape. It was soon announced that, they want to know how the president is. His doctors claimed he had cholera morbus.
The heck is that?
And it's not regular cholera. Cholera morbus was something doctors would use to point out a wide range of ailments. Could be diarrhea, could be intestinal stuff.
So catch-all.
It was a catch-all. So they used the term cholera morbus. That's what they announced. They didn't announce how his doctors were treating him.
Well, we can tell by past episodes that doctors during that time period didn't treat presidents very well.
It was so stupid and so ridiculous, and it did not help him. Follow me on this, on how they treated Zachary Taylor for his gastroenteritis.
Not Tums or Alka-Seltzer, I'm guessing.
No. In rapid succession, he was force-fed calomel, which is a mercury chloride solution meant to induce regurgitation.
Okay.
He was fed quinine. They thought it was a nice fever reducer.
So mercury and quinine, both poisons, by the way.
Yes. Yes.
Jeez.
And to ease his pain, opium.
Woohoo.
None of which alleviated his symptoms. It only made it worse.
Yeah.
On top of that, bloodletting and blistering was also done to Zachary Taylor.
Oh my. Bloodletting and blistering.
On July 8th, 1850, Zachary Taylor remarked to a medical attendant, quote, I should not be surprised if this were to terminate in my death.
Wow.
Meaning he knew that he was failing fast.
Yeah.
Zachary Taylor died at 10:35 p.m. on July 9th, 1850.
The next day.
The next day. He was 65 years old. Vice President Millard Fillmore assumed the presidency and completed Zachary Taylor's term. Immediately after Zachary Taylor died, there were already the conspiracy theorists.
Oh, really? Okay.
There was.
I didn't realize that.
Rumors began to circulate that he may have been poisoned either by pro-slavery Southerners or religious factions. In fact, weeks after Taylor's death, President Fillmore received a letter alleging that Taylor had been poisoned by a Jesuit lay official.
Why?
Nobody knows. Nothing was ever followed up. But there was that rumor that always went around. that was he poisoned for his beliefs? He was a Whig when he should have been a Democrat because he was a Southerner.
I could see the Southern Democrats possibly doing this or a motive there, but the Jesuits, there's nothing in his history that I know that would have caused the Jesuits to be upset.
That nothing came of it. It was a letter that was sent to Millard Fillmore.
Right. Crazy man, probably.
Zachary Taylor was buried in an airtight casket with a glass window plate for viewing his face, so that when they were carrying him and taking him in for the funeral and the wake and all that, they want to go and look down there. He looks so peaceful.
Yeah, right.
He looks so comfortable. He was interred in the public vault of the Congressional Cemetery in Washington, D.C., but he wasn't there for very long. Mm-hmm. He was there from July 13th to October 25th, 1850. His body was exhumed then and transported to the Taylor family plot where his parents were buried on the old Taylor homestead plantation in Louisville, Kentucky. That plantation was known as Springfield.
Okay.
Now, here's another thing about this, because we haven't got to the point where he's 141 years go by and he's exhumed.
Right.
He's been exhumed once to be put onto the family plot. If you go to the Springfield plantation in Louisville, Kentucky, you can see his old mausoleum. It's behind a new one that they had built a few years later. So he was disinterred again and moved to a new mausoleum. And when that all happened, nobody was saying, hey, we got an opportunity to examine him. Nobody brought up this stuff.
Nobody could care.
But it wasn't until a real troublemaker, and I've listened to her interviews. This woman's a troublemaker, and I probably couldn't be in a room with her for more than 2 or 3 minutes before she got on my nerves.
Is this the Florida woman?
Yes, Clara Rising, who was a professor at the University of Florida, persuaded Taylor's closest living relative to agree to an exhumation of Zachary Taylor.
This would be the third?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, right? Third?
Yeah, well, third moving of his body. Right. But this was the 1980s. Now, he wasn't exhumed until 1991, but she started in the 80s sniffing around that maybe there was something wrong because the family was uneasy about how Zachary Taylor died. Here's the pain in the ass, Clara Rising herself.
Okay.
Talking about why she did what she did or suggested to exhume him.
Okay, let's listen.
The family had some severe doubts about the diagnosis of gastroenteritis at Taylor's death. So I went back to Florida and started research. Exhumation. The symptoms. I brought the symptoms to Dr. Maples, the forensic pathologist at the University of Florida, and he said the symptoms are classic arsenic. Now, the nearest living relative, I had to get permission from the nearest living relative to proceed with the exhumation, was Mr. John McElhenney, who was 84 years old at the time. I spent 4 days interviewing Mr. McElhenney. He was a delight.
And he gave family permission, to have the body exhumed again. Oh. On June 17th, 1991, the Kentucky Chief Medical Examiner ordered him dug up.
Dig him up.
And let's have him examined. What went on in that examination room? By the way, and I don't know if this should be posted on our Facebook page.
What's that?
There are pictures of what he looked like in the coffin when they opened it back up. Does he look like he's sleeping? No.
No.
Can you tell it's a human body?
Yeah.
Yes. Did it have hair and fingernails and still had tatters of clothing and things that were buried with him? Yes.
Well, this is 140 years?
Yeah, 141 years now has gone by from 1991, going back to his death in 1850.
Surprised he wasn't dust by then.
He wasn't. Here is author Taylor Albert Smith.
So he's going to tell us what the results of the autopsy?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's going to tell you what they did, what he looked like, and why they... Take a listen.
Yeah, I'm in.
They did exhume him, and they had a pretty good chance to examine him because his wife would not let them embalm him. She had trouble accepting the fact that he was dead. He had not been embalmed, and certainly the best people that I know of here in Kentucky thoroughly examined the remains and found no trace of poison whatsoever. And I would not impugn either their ability or integrity. So I really do not think that he was assassinated or poisoned by anyone. His doctors did perform some horrendous medical steps, but they did that to everyone. They bled him, they blistered him, they dosed him up to here with calomel, which is partly mercury. But this was done, these decisions really were reached by a committee of doctors rather than just one. Taylor had several doctors fussing over it.
Yeah, he did, all trying to kill him.
Yeah. Jeez.
But they were able to, with what was left of the remains, as Mr. Smith pointed out, they did hair and fingernail samples and other tissues. Radiological studies were conducted. The remains were then returned to the cemetery, reinterred. They had the appropriate honors again, so he's finally back into his second mausoleum, third place where he's staying.
Right.
Because the old place is right behind the new place.
Right. So did they build, I'm sorry, just real quick, did they build the new one in 1991? Was he already in the new one?
He was already in the new one.
So he's been in there twice. So now it's 4.
He went back in
4
there.
internments.
The analysis conducted, and years of looking at it, what did we find out?
Yeah.
Analysis conducted on Zachary Taylor was that he had contracted salmonella poisoning from eating unwashed and uncooked fruits and vegetables. He also was contaminated by the water supply. The water also led to his complications. Rumor goes back and forth. Could he have gotten over it if the doctors didn't do all the other stuff to him?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Really?
Possibly.
So it wasn't cherries or milk. It was unwashed vegetables and dirty water.
Mm-hmm. Huh. And, well, you got to realize, unwashed cherries, too.
Oh, that's true, right.
They carry the same diseases, other food.
And unpasteurized milk on a hot summer day.
Correct. Yeah. All of this, he got pretty much when you don't eat raw chicken, don't eat raw that. You could get salmonella. You pick vegetables from a nice organic garden. Wash them.
So he'd have gotten the trots for a couple of days and then been fine.
Some believe that could be the case.
Another president possibly killed by doctors.
And leave that out there, possibly killed. Yeah. There are experts that say he was 65 years old and he got a heavy dose of salmonella and food poisoning. But the doctors did not help it and probably sped it up.
Yeah. Jeez.
And the mystery still remains. Doctors took another look at it. Doctors and experts and scholars took another look at the findings in 2010.
New technology, 30 years later.
A new review. Let's review what was done.
Yeah.
Was he killed? Was he poisoned to death? The final analysis done in 2010 was, and I'm quoting here, there is no definitive proof that Zachary Taylor was assassinated.
Okay.
Nor would it appear that there is definitive proof that he was not.
What?
Possibility still exists.
So it's still out there.
It's still out there. There's a mystery. They're 99.99999% sure he died from salmonella.
Yeah.
With the help of doctors really effing around with him.
Right.
But was he fed that stuff knowingly that it was filthy and contaminated and eat it up, Zach? What did the doctors have something? There were multiple. He had a individual physician. There was also, people were allowed into the White House freely. Citizens.
Yeah, then it was open.
There's a story about Zachary Taylor. It was completely open. Then the bottom floor was open so that you could meet with the president in the Oval Office. When he was president in 1849, people were able to make their way up to the private residence.
Really?
And there was also a case of a gentleman being found wandering around in his bedroom. So, I mean, you don't know.
You really don't know, do you?
No.
No, not 100%.
No, you got any little tidbits for us? I know I like to throw that your way if there's anything that you might want to add.
I got nothing, man.
Are you saying I covered it all?
You covered it all. Damn you. You left me nothing to leave at the end of the show.
I've got nothing.
How dare you be so thorough?
I've got nothing. 2 weeks.
2 weeks from now.
You have been telling me to bring this topic up for a while now because we did it when we initially did our pilot.
Yes.
We're going to talk about who was really living in the White House during the Franklin Roosevelt and Eleanor Roosevelt years. Who was with whom and what was going on behind closed doors.
And how many people were involved?
Sinister, sick, in 2 weeks.
This has been Beyond Mount Rushmore, the history you never knew you wanted or needed or whatever.
Right.
I'm Jeff Cox. This is Stan Nowalanek, our self-proclaimed presidential historian.
Hi, everybody.
We'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Check out.
Also on our, where?
Facebook,
Okay.
Instagram, TikTok.